the InfoAg Conference. I'm visiting with Josh Skanderup with Raven. We're going to talk a little bit about how you're working with one of the other exhibitors here, but first, I know that Raven did a showcase presentation here. What is it that you are trying to tell the attendees this year about what Raven's offering?
Yeah, this year we've got some great new products. Right behind me you see our new Slingshot Field Hub, and what that is it's our communications platform that stays in cab, and what we really focus on with that platform is extremely high reliability. It's 4G capable, so it's an improvement on our current model, and the interesting thing about 4G coverage is it's expanding very quickly as all the networks compete to fill in the missing spots on the maps. So from a rural perspective, 4G is actually getting very, very prolific. And so the 4G modem is a great platform now rurally, where in the past it might not have been. And the reason that's important is with all of the new applications that are coming out, data is core to some of those applications, and the volume of it is increasing. So with the 4G platform now, it just gets that much quicker to move that data real time and get it where it needs to go.
Right. What's the reaction to the folks here that have been by your booth?
It's been great. So the interesting thing about the adoption curve is, I think we're into the part of the curve where it's kind of readily accepted, and so we've got a lot of people that come through and they've deployed it on half, a third. Some of them have got it on all their fleets now. And the general, I just talked to a gentleman here, and his reaction was, "Oh yeah, we got Slingshot. You can't go wrong on that." It's almost to the point where it's a given. So it's not that they come and they want to talk about that specifically. They've already got it, and now they want to talk about what they're doing with it. And so it's kind of an exciting time.
Well, I understand now that you also collaborate with a number of other companies, but one of those is Map Shots, and I think this is really allowing customers, I think it's their Ag Studio product, to be able to get information and different types of information from some other systems. And explain your relationship and what you've accomplished together.
Yeah, we worked a lot with Map Shots in the last year or so. And so the way it works is when you've got Slingshot, you've got the automatic data transfer from your machine and to your machine, but then that data needs to make it into another platform, typically for analysis. And Map Shots has a really big customer base and kind of a unique one. I would say, high-end grower-focused customers are pretty strong in the Map Shots customer base, and so the application works really well for that group. But when you need to get data into it, that always hasn't been easy in the past. So if you've got Slingshot, or really any Raven monitor, you don't necessarily have to have the Slingshot hardware, but with our Slingshot API, what Map Shots can do is they pull that file into their system, it gets converted with our Slingshot server, and it gets input automatically into their platform. It really reduces the steps it takes to capture that data accurately. And so what we've done with them in the last year or so is focus on how can we get you the data to make it the easiest import, so that it really becomes a process that's not forefront to the experience. It just happens, and we move right on to the analysis of the data rather than trying to wrangle it into the software. And so we can do that wirelessly. If you've got Slingshot in the cab, they'll automatically pull those files into the MapShot platforms. They'll also be able to send out RX maps, so if you've got recommendations for what you want to apply, plant, that can go automatically out to a Raven display from MapShot's platforms.
And that is something that's working now, right?
That's correct. That's available today.
Well, anything else you might want to mention here while we're talking about Raven and the story of the continuing evolution?
Yeah, I guess, one of the unique things about Slingshot is it's multi-purpose. So there might be one application that makes you interested in it, but it's capable of a lot more. So we focus at this show a lot on the data portion of it. It's also used for RTK, some GS, which is our decimeter level correction. That can happen over the Slingshot modem. It's already in the cab. probably one of the most used is remote support, where you have the live display. And then of course we've got all of our web services. So when we say Slingshot, it's typically we're talking about the box, but it's really the strategy and services around it, and that's what we're here to showcase.
Well, thank you very much, Josh, for visiting here. We are at the InfoAg Conference.